ETM130 Final Written and Practical Test by Tyler Nunez and Hunter Maxon. Our objective is to be able to apply our knowledge of PLCs to practical applications. Our job to be done will be to create a bottle line control program using RS Logics, using a shift register instruction to simulate good and bad bottles on the bottle line. When a bottle without a top gets to position 7 on the bottle line, a spray gun is to be triggered to spray a dot of paint on the bottle. Also, a solenoid valve will be energized to extend a cylinder to reject the bad bottles when it is in position 9 on the bottle line. Configure communications with the PC-based controller emulator. Download your PLC project to the PC-based controller emulator. Go online with the PC-based controller emulator and prove out your program. Change from remote run to remote program mode. This is our bottle line program. Here on our first line, you can see this run determines if it's okay to start up. We have our stop, our start okay here, and start okay over here. Here's our next line. You see we have our start okay, first pass, 2 move instructions, and 3 resets. 1 for the total bottle counter, 1 for the total bottle reject, and 1 for total capped bottles. Our next line is our bottles present, which goes into a count up, which keeps track of the total amount of bottles that come down the conveyor. Our next line is our bottles present, which also is our total bottle reject. So here is our total bottle reject here, and this counter counts the total amount of reject bottles. Our next line is for our total capped bottles, which then is our counter, which keeps track of our total capped bottles, which then leads to the end. To be able to put these instructions in here, for this instruction here, we would have to go up here and add it in here. To be able to put an input in here, we have to come over here, double click on inputs, and it brings up this table. And all we have to do is take and drag it to here. The same thing goes for our start okay here. You do the same exact process, but instead you're using an output. And same goes for here. And for our first pass, we are using S115. And then we have our move instructions, which is test is output 0.2. We have another move, which its test is binary 3, 1. And then we have our 3 resets, which are connected to counter 0, counter 1, and counter 2. And then we get into our base shift left counter. And then we get into our bit shift left, which the file is to binary 3, 1. The control is to R6, 1. The bit address is input 0/10, and the length is 10. For our counter timers, they are addressed to the counter resets, which we have our C50, C51, and C52. So if you scroll down, our C50 will be related to the total bottle counter, our C51 will be related to the total bottle reject, and our C52 reset will be connected to the total capped bottles. So here you can see that our total bottle counter is addressed to the C50. Our total bottle reject is addressed to the C51, and our total capped bottle is addressed to the C52.
Alright, so with our bottle line PLC program, we want to go online. So what you're going to do is hit communications, and then download, and then okay, and then yes. Then do you want to go online? Yes. So now we are online. Now we're going to go down to our emulator, and then go right to here, click run. Now the program is on run mode. And now, as you can see, the start okay is active, so we are ready to simulate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over here, bring out the counter, and then our binary. And now I'm going to show you how that will work. So here we will toggle the bottle present bit. So as you can see, C52, C52 there. So it shows that there is a bottle present. Now I want to show you the bit shift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle this bit. So now it shows that there's a reject. So when I untoggle that, toggle it back on, you can see there's a bit right there, a 1 instead of a 0. So then I'll keep toggling that and it'll keep bringing a 1 in replace of the 0. There's 2 1s. And then 3 1s. And now if we activate the reject spray, you can see there's a 1 over here under the 7, which that's where that is right there, bit 3 1 7. And then if we activate the reject array, there's 1 at the 9. And now as you can see in the counter, C51, which counts the bottle rejects, it says there's 4 bottle rejects. Now I'm going to show you how to go offline so that you can program this. So first what we're going to do is that we're going to go back to the emulator and press halt, which will take it out of run mode. Then you want to go back up to communications and go offline. And then ask you if you want to save changes, and you just say no, because then it will reset all of the accumulations for the bottles. Say okay. Say yes. And then it brings you back where you can reprogram if you need to, or make any changes. And that's how we will work the bottle line PLC program.